Welcome back. I'm Chris Moore with HVAC Pro Blog, and this month I'm excited to share a blog that I actually wrote 2 years ago on myself for my Patreon page. So this is called 4 Core Values That Shape What I Do. Without further ado, here's my training. So, 4 core values that shape what I do. Not too long ago, I went through a corporate exercise with my day job that had me explore my personal values. This exercise had me first circle a bunch of traits, then organize them into groups of similar. The 4 below shook out of the piles as the most impactful to my everyday life. I figure a new year, one filled with much optimism, right, is probably a better time to share than ever. So, first one is growth. When looking around in the HVAC industry, all aspects, manufacturer, distribution, contractors, residential and commercial, the growth paths always look drastically different. I have to be honest here. I've worked for and with some good companies and not so good companies. And you don't know that the grass really isn't greener on the other side until it's too late. The best professional growth in the residential trades comes in the form of mentorships. This is a reason the licensing in most states are named apprentice, journeyman, master, etc., right? The idea of a number of hours working under a journeyman or master is not only to teach the hands-on skills, but think of the knowledge that can be passed along with customer service, business, marketing, you name it, right? This is also the part that can mirror classics like Star Wars, though the apprentice will have to want to learn and be capable of training, not just have the force. Not letting the master off the hook here either. The mentor has to want to teach. Knowing this delicate balance and lack of mentors myself, try to always share the knowledge I typically had to learn the hard way, particularly when it comes to the HVAC system design diagnosis. You know the drill at HVAC Pro Blog. What I found is that a majority of people I reach are not ready to learn. But if you're reading this, or in this case watching this, I doubt you're one of them. All right, number 2, commitment. I typically gauge my own commitment and that of others on 3 traits. It's punctuality, decisiveness, and dependability. There's plenty to elaborate on here, so I'm just going to be brief. These may be the 3 best traits I learned as a leader in the U.S. Marines and have served my HVAC career well at all stops. I seriously live by the 15 minutes early or you're late mantra in the military. You can just ask any of my coworkers or managers in the last 2 decades, or even my daughter. This may sound ridiculous to you, but calling ahead and being early for a service or sales call will be remembered and reviewed. The alternative, showing up late and not calling ahead, will also be remembered and reviewed. Not so well. I can honestly say I care least about how we arrived at a certain situation and time and whose fault it was, only being swift and decisive on our next steps. I think this likely stems from being a platoon sergeant and knowing analysis paralysis will only hurt or kill our team. Trust me, the people you work with want this too. It's decisiveness. Of course, dependability in any service-based industry can translate quickly into success. If I had to nickel every time I heard the sales call being made without providing a proposal, or the unreliable service tech didn't show up for work again this morning, I would be a rich man. All right, number 3, loyalty. I find this to be the easiest question for new people entering the trades. Loyalty. Every contractor I have ever spoken with says they would be more than willing to train new installers, technicians, even salespeople. Trust me, a lot of them need training, if they knew they were capable and were loyal. Loyalty can be the toughest value to gauge or even test, but when tested on an absolute chance, right, you will know if the person is loyal. If not, fine, I can no longer trust that employee or that coworker or even manager, and working with them would be a violation of my core values, right? Because of this personal perception, I have always been completely loyal to my employer, my country, and my family. Like the great Johnny Cash saying, I find it very, very easy to be true. All right, last one, success. It's one of my core values. Although this is a result of many traits and values, I use the thought of Will this decision lead to success very often? Sometimes I actually strategically think into the future a bit too much and only fixate on the long-term success option, becoming blind to the quick, easy decisions for short-term success. This is probably true for most of us that have attained a higher education, as they teach analytical thinking and bake it into everyday process, right? Most employers would probably love this quality and value it in an employee, but depending on this position, it could be paralyzing to an entrepreneur or a small business. We often talk about how fast the HVAC industry moves, how if you stop learning or teaching or trying new products or technologies, the industry is just going to pass you by. Like the apprentice and master relationship being a delicate balance, decisions that lead to short-term or long-term success should be balanced for the most likely positive results. I'm pretty fortunate to say that most jobs, events, or ideas I've had were successful up to this point. So, bit of look behind the curtain for me. Those of you who knew me well, these may not be a surprise. Or are they? I don't typically write or share about these trade-type philosophical ideologies, right? But it's a new year, and it's one after one of the biggest tests of our lives. Remember, this was 2 years ago when I wrote this. So it could be a time to introduce some core values into your decisions or business. Do you already have some? Are they different from mine? I'd love to hear in the comments below. Thanks again for joining me at HVAC Pro Blog, where we provide advice for residential system design, quality installation, and system diagnosis. I'll see you soon.